Henry Nwamanya to the big set.
Thank you so much, Mr. Banyaji. This being my first time, of course, I appreciate being hosted on the airwaves of CROOZE FM. You talked of many things. The first thing that caught my eye was the murder of the Ndiga clan head. It was unfortunate that we lost lives, both on the side of the alleged suspects, but as well on the side of the Ndiga clan head. What I appreciate first was the quick response of the citizens. This time around, we did not have any issue to do with the lack of security. People acted very quick, and of course it's unfortunate that it was mob justice, but I will tell you that those who studied criminology, like the professor here, know that that is what
you've given him a title he has about it. He has to achieve his council wage and
anyways, council Deus did it. We know that is what they call vindictive retaliation, tit for tat, and people are fed up with the reports that do not come out. First of all, though I'm not alleging that government is not doing its work, we have forensic experts, and I'm sure that they're going to do a very great job. Back to Lubowa Hospital. This was a multi-billion dollar project. We all know that at some point we expected this to get done in 24 months, but unfortunately it did not. And at some point, some of the medical experts, like the doctor, I think it was Gideon Rugali, he compared it to the University of Texas Hospital. He said it was going to be one of the most expensive projects in the world. And they expected this to be, of course, when it comes to medical issues and treating non-communicable diseases, we all expect that government has to step in and welcome a project. And that is what they did.
But now it's held up at ground level, at the foundation.
Exactly. That's the unfortunate bit.
Thank you, Henry Nwamanya. Well, thank you. Welcome to the big set. Council Isaac Barije, good morning and welcome to the big set.
Yes, good morning, our dear listeners. The name is Barije Isaac. Happy to be here. I welcome my fellow panelists.
Yes.
And I also want to thank CROOZE FM for hosting me.
All right. Thank you. Well, welcome. Your week was good?
Very good.
All right. Peter Mpaka, good morning and welcome to the big set.
Yes, good morning, Westj, and good morning, our dear listeners. Today being the second day of March, I still want to encourage you to check back on your year's plan, because now we are going, is it a quarter?
Literally going to the first quarter.
Yes, so please check your vision for the year. How far, what are you working on? And also, I want to dedicate this edition of the big seat for myself. I want to dedicate it to my OBs, the OBs of Ontario School, and it's a dedication, like when they have called you a professor, but you don't understand this things. But really, I want to call upon my dear OBs. Munkwase akuba OB naenda kuremera muntebe, so ntwenda turengu twamurwana sa 2026. We should have the change we need in Uganda. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Peter Mpaka. Yes, Council Bwenje.
Okay.
Council Bwenje. Yes. No, it's okay. You're audible well.
Yes, I want to start off from the fact that as the president of the National Revolution for the Restoration of Uganda, NARU, of which I'm the president, we condemn the lack of accountability and transparency that is characteristic of the Museveni regime, in order what it has done, the hospital at Urubowa. And it is a shame, especially for the Speaker of Parliament, that for 4 years now, she doesn't even know what is happening there. And
but the Deputy Speaker of Parliament made a side visit and was
expelled. That was just yesterday. But how can you let that go on for 4 years? And I dare the Speaker to go there herself.
We shall get into
and that. Then I, of course, as as an activist for the rights of animals, I'm perturbed by the scene which I saw on the farm of the head of state. His cattle are marked YKM. I mean, that is harsh on animals. See, you have to imagine the amount of pain they undergo when you are marking them. YKM. Yes, YKM.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether it is a full stop or a comma on an animal. See, so no. I said YKM to specify.
We are not going to debate your opening remarks.
So as a representative, sure. I mean, as an animal rights activist, I think I take exception. To that kind of cruelty on the rights of animals.
We're stopping for break. When we come back into the topic of discussion. Good morning.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
Hit us up on www.cruisefm.com or connect to us on our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram at 912 CROOZE FM and join.
UCC.
We are back. It's 38 minutes past 9 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Good morning. My name is Wesige Banyaji. With me in studio is Sifa Safi, Peter Mpaka, Henry Nwamanya, Bwenje Deus did it, and Isaac Barije. And three of them are advocates, and for no, you're not an advocate. I want to thank every person that is locked on their radio. The topic of discussion this morning is on our social media handles, 912 CROOZE FM on X and 91.2 CROOZE FM on Facebook. And the question is, do you think that the Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga should resign from the Commission of Parliament? From being Commissioner of Parliament. Maybe to give you background, Commissioner of Parliament is responsible for the administration of Parliament, and they are nominated by the party. And we know in the recent reshuffle, we had the president of the National Unity Platform nominate the Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga to be the Commissioner of Parliament. Before that, he had served 2.5 years as leader of opposition. Now, the matter is, after a parliamentary exhibition on Twitter, there was information that was presented where the Right Honorable former leader of opposition received 500 million as a service award, where he served as the leader of opposition. The question is, was that corruption? Or it was simply emolument or gratuity or something that he was entitled to? But you should not also fail to say that each member of the commission received money and other commissioners received 400 million. This was the first time that a leader of opposition was getting this service award. And we saw a letter by the Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga, where he stated very clearly, and he schooled members, especially of NUP at the headquarters, for having family interests and losing the big picture, but rather going into trivialities and fighting them. Peter Mpaka, what is happening in the NUP?
Thank you, West J, and our dear listeners and the panelists here. Now, somebody is confusing Mpuga, and it's very disheartening to see that a smart, intelligent, well-composed leader who had substantive achievements while he was a rope is being confused by the politics of this country. I know that he doesn't understand what's going on, but it is so disheartening to us. Now, number one, why am I saying this? That, like you stated, all the other people who have been lopes, actually including, I think, Professor Ogenga Latigo, who served the longest as a leader of opposition. I one time saw him crying that he was hurt that when he was leaving that office as a lope, even the laptop that he was using to send his emails and, conduct his work was withdrawn from him, that it is parliamentary property. And he's the one who served the longest. Actually, I think he's even the first or the second.
About the first.
He's the one who even started this, built that foundation. Whatever we are doing, whatever the LOP is doing, the shape of the multi-party politics, he has a big hand in it. And you see that up to today, he has never been appreciated as a man who contributed in the beginning of the office of the leader of opposition.
Now, what if Parliament
go to Wafula,
corrected that by awarding this gentleman 500 million? After all, they saw that what they had done to Ogenga Latigo was only wrong, that they are now correcting this mistake by awarding this gentleman. How about that? Then
you see, now that's why we were here complaining the other day when they called out all former speakers and they gave them cars. Why didn't they call all the other lopes, including Winchiza, Wafula, and this lady from
Nandala
Gulu,
Mafabi,
even Nandala Mafabi, and give them their cash bonanza at once, and then we can make our complaints.
But is it
or
true?
Make our discussions.
Is it true? Maybe from your inside knowledge, and that's the reason as to why I started with you, so that you give us a feel of exactly what is happening within the party. Is it true that? Well, go on.
The division, there is no... Let me tell you this, that if a system is working, if an organization is working, expect people to step on each other's toes.
Okay. Now,
So
this is
what I want to
exactly
say
what I
is
wanted
this.
to ask.
This is
Is
what-
that there was a meeting that was held at the headquarters.
Yes.
Is it true that Matthias Mpuga had actually accepted that this was a mistake that he needed to apologize about? Because basing on the letter that he wrote, this has nothing to do with anything that happened in at the headquarters. In fact, he called it an informal cordial conversation with his comrades that had nothing to do with a meeting where they had to question him about what he had received from the commission.
No, for me, this is the information I have, and I want to state it categorically. First of all, there is no division in NUP. NUP is a strong party, a young party that is wavering with the waves, with whatever forces are trying to hit us, but we are still on the same mission of delivering Uganda and bringing Ugandans to a new Uganda that we dream about. Now, as we do this, there will always be issues that will come and appear as if we are not understanding each other. Now, there was a meeting at Kavule on Wednesday, and it's not as informal as Mpuga is putting it, because the president was there, all the deputy vice presidents were there, the SG was there, the LOP was there, all the main party organs were in that meeting. And it was brought to him that take back this money, because to us, based on our core values as NUP, we talk about integrity, we talk about fighting corruption, we talk about being reliable, we talk about inclusiveness. We do not see a reason why you, as a person who is among our leadership, and actually a top organ of the leadership of the party, why you should cocoon with a few members of the parliamentary commission and you also accept to take this money. So now I want the listener to understand that this is not gratuity as you put it, because gratuity to members of parliament is given at the end of the financial year.
Okay, thank
so
you.
this is mid of a financial year, and we are seeing, so our party has requested him to take back the money. If he cannot take back the money, he should resign.
Okay.
And then we can have our core values respected, because as you build a team, you must be able to convince and gather together your team around the things that you believe in without anyone diverting.
Thank you,
away from
Henry
them.
Nwamanya. It's not the very first time that we've seen some kind of disagreement between Matthias Mpuga and Chankuran. The first time was the aspects in Massacre where the president instructed particular events, and Mpuga hesitated and dragged his feet, and he had a different opinion. Yes, countermanded them. In fact, that's the right word. And now we are here. The letter is clear on Mpuga returning this money and apologizing and resigning from the commission. We saw a lot of English in the Mpuga letter, of which it's only people that are not very exposed that would get very excited because he has used that kind of language. This was clearly corruption where I see it. I'm a Ugandan. And I would think for you to think this was an entitlement that was only granted to you but not previous leaders of opposition. How is your interpretation of the same?
Well, thank you so much once again, Mr. Banyaji. First of all, I will start with a quotation by Albert Einstein, one of the greatest physicians. He said that pure mathematics is in its way the poetry of logical ideas. Once there is something involved in mathematics, people will come up with ideas on how to come about and around that sort of information. I do not take this as an Mpuga issue, personally. I think it's an issue for all the members of parliament, first of all. And in that regard, I first of all appreciate what the mainstream media and social media are doing in exposing some of these issues taking place in our parliament. Well, I was shocked, first of all, that the leader of opposition was awarded that quite a huge sum of money. Former leader of opposition, as corrected by Mr. Peter here. But again, when it comes to the internal divisions in the NUP, I think the issue of Mpuga and the president has gone as far as we did not expect. I personally believe that there is something hidden in there, like he says in his letter, though Mr. Wesije, you're saying the English was too much. I think I managed to pick some few things. He said that there is a certain cocoon of individuals in this NUP party that are building up, enlarging their shoulders, not allowing other members in the party to enjoy the privilege that a young party should present. I understand Mr. Bobby Wine's, alias Honorable Chagulanyi's issue as a leader. You know, it's hard when the party is just started to control particular individuals. And as you know, even in leadership is a funny game. It's more like a game of gambling. You do not know who is going behind you. You saw the same issues in FDC, whereby for now I do not think we have a strong FDC party. But I believe there would have been a better way of handling this in NUP. And I think they would have thrown in a joker somewhere if it was a game of cards, if they allowed this to go on silently and announce it actually after this gentleman retiring or resigning. As the commissioner. Me, I personally think that would have been better. But coming out loudly, Mpuga says in the letter he wrote to them that this was an informal conversation. And this gentleman went ahead and issued an unsigned document, which, of course, you may not, but it's unsigned.
It must be signed.
And you know the effect of that.
But the same too, his letter was undated. So if we go into small things, then I think for me, and this is the pride and arrogancy.
It's a word for word interpretation of what the president of NUP spoke at the offices, word for word. So it need not have been signed because he said it. Actually, those same words, there's a video of his, the same words.
Okay.
So it's not in dispute that the NUP has owned up to those statements.
Okay.
Anyways, regardless of what is said, I think apart from, aside from what Mr. Peter said, I personally feel like there's division already in NUP. If at all you're putting all your dirt in public out there for people to see, what do you think people are going to take? I think NRM in this case emerges as a winner. Although, like Mr. Banyaji said, all parties now are having internal conflicts, but I do not think NUP goes astray.
Okay.
They are also having the same issue. So
thank you, Henry.
Thank you so much.
All right, Sifa, let me come to you. I think those that are in support of the establishment, you must be having the last laugh. When you look at what is happening within the NUP, did you see this coming? Because, I mean, where people have power and you have one leader of opposition, they sit in the commission and they're able to associate with the speaker and they create a rapport. And they're literally spending time with those that run the establishment. Wasn't it this a long time coming? Didn't you see this happening?
Thank you, Vanyaji, and thank you to those who have submitted. To begin with, the politics of Uganda here is, unfortunately, those people who we think run the thing or run the show they still have a lot to do, especially in the opposition. And I remember some years back, we were talking about having no opposition in the country. And some people thought it was because some people had taken some money, they had eaten, but that's not the case. I repeat it and I emphasize. One thing we should know for sure is a person like Chagulanyi. Because this is not a surprise for me. Mr. Mpuga is one of those LOPs that we have seen in this country who have at least, tried to demonstrate that opposition in Uganda doesn't mean that we are enemies and all that kind of thing. But when you look at a person like Chagulanyi and friends, maybe you have Mr. Peter Mpaka here and others who are like him, for them, they think that if you are Mr. Mpaka with the red whatever,
that's very important. I think. What do they look like? Because if you say who are like him, are they
I think you
agree?
should ask
No, no. In terms of
what?
ideology.
Or in terms of being radical?
Council.
Yes.
Mr. Peter, you
surely.
mentioned
Yeah,
that
okay.
surprised that you don't know some of these small things. And I think it should have been Peter to ask, but he knew what I was talking about. So for me,
Yes, he
Mr.
could ask.
Banerjee
Let's
and
allow
the
Sifa.
listeners and
Let's
the
allow
listeners,
Sifa.
we should know that we have different political ideologies, which is really okay and healthy, but sometimes we really demean and we really look at Ugandans and we take them for granted, because I don't see any problem, Mr. Banerjee, with Mr. Mpuga being given that money in line with the fact that he's an opposition figure. For me, it's not fair. It's not good, because I'm a taxpayer, I'm a Ugandan, I'm a citizen of this country, and I need services. So the fact that those people sat, I don't think, and I've not heard anywhere that Mr. Mpuga sat and asked for this money, that I've been doing ABC, so I need this money. They sat and made a decision. So you should take it, and people should take it with good heart. Mr. Kyagulanyi, as usual, double standards. That is the very good definition I can give to him. Because apart from the money that has been given to Mr. Mpuga, how much has been spent on him as a leader of opposition in parliament? Talk of the cars, talk of the allowances and whatever. He has never complained. And now he's trying to show Ugandans that 500 million shillings is too much for this country, and Mpuga should not take it. We should remember that Mr. Kyagulanyi is this person who doesn't like people who challenge him. For him, he wants, when he says that this flag of Uganda is green, and I've said this before, is green and purple, you should say yes, Mr. President, which is totally wrong and unfortunate. And that is the same thing I've always talked of some of the followers of NRM. There are certain things we should criticize and challenge because we see they are not right. So for me, if Mr. Mpuga has been given that money, let him take it. It's very okay. After all, he has been doing better than Mr. Kyagulanyi, his own president. So the issue of giving...
that is the view of the NRM.
Let's allow
that
her.
is the view of Sifa.
Yes.
Yeah, you can take it or leave it. So for me, I think Mr. Kyagulanyi, it's high time he realized that supporters of NUP are there. Some of them are passionate, leave alone those who are there to pick a few coins here and there. Some of them are passionately supporting NUP. And for him, we should give them time and allow them to think as adults and know what is good for their parties and what is not good. So you should generally say that government should not give any opposition leader or NUP leader any coin, but not necessarily specifying this issue of Mr. Mpuga's 500 shillings. So for me, it's way bigger than we see. And this was just a sparking factor. This was just, I don't know what, but it's not what is itching him. After all, they say that pilipili usioila ya kuashia nini. This is not his money picked from his pocket or from his account. Why should he feel so...
He's a taxpayer.
Really? He's a taxpayer, Sifa Safi.
And you see,
That is what I talked about in the first place.
Yes.
Remember I said,
Yes.
why should he talk about the 500 million shillings and not the amount of money that has been spent on Mpuga all these 2 years? He has never
I think
let's allow her.
Point of information.
Let's allow her.
Point of information.
If he has some good
Point of information.
Yes.
I think we should do justice to our people, especially the viewers and the listeners. I think she's trying to trivialize the matter.
No, for her it is
to a level
clear,
that there's a personal beef between these two individuals. But the question she's not addressing is, did Mpuga receive this money or not?
Yes.
Number two, was he right in law to receive it?
I think you're done.
But
it's not about the amount.
Let me bring in this.
It's not about the amount. The question is, was he justified to receive a service award?
I'm going to give you two as lawyers. You help us understand that aspect. The legalism there.
So it's not about the personal beef. No, it's about were you right to receive that money?
Yes, and let me bring in this. Let me also bring in this.
Yes.
That the NUP has requested Mpuga to resign as a parliamentary commissioner, not resign from his position as vice president of the party.
Okay.
He still is, and that's why you're confused.
You're wasting my time for no good reason.
No, you have the time. You have the time. First, listen.
There's no time.
Stop going.
Okay. Let's allow Sifa conclude.
But I would want her not to confuse herself. That there is a difference between salaries, allowances, and other entitlements and privileges for an office, which is what you're trying to confuse us with. 500,
you are confused right from your home.
No.
Let me tell you, also, it is unfortunate that such a small thing cannot be understood within such a period of time. And Mr. Peter, that you're a leader in NUP and you don't know anything within your party. What I'm saying is, my concern is why should Chagulanyi focus on these 500 million shillings? You are talking of allowances and
Yes.
But it's the matter.
She's focusing on it. No, she's focusing on it. She's focusing on it because it has no legal basis.
Okay.
But the salaries of Mpuga have basis in law.
I made it clear and said that Mr. Mpuga did not write to anybody.
Thank you
No,
so
you
much.
see, no. Is he? When you don't ask for a bribe and they give it to you, you are complicit in it.
Yes, let's please conclude and I bring in Kasabali.
Standards.
Yes.
If it is allowances and it is taxpayers' money, we should talk about it. If it is salaries and they are too high for this country, we should talk about it. Not necessarily this money that has been given to Mpuga. And besides, Mr. Chagulanyi gets a lot of money, more way better than Mpuga.
Okay, thank you, Sifa.
So finally, for me,
yes,
this cheap politics, this cheap popularity in this country,
speak to the microphone. Yes,
does not work for this country.
Okay.
I don't care where you come from, which party you support. It is our money. But if they have decided that Mpuga has done something, already I said that at least he has been good in parliament because he has expressed to the public that being in opposition does not mean that you work
but your microphone is out.
Work for the people.
Okay,
so
thank you.
I conclude on this.
You've concluded.
No, I haven't. It is unfortunate that these new leaders like Peter here, who should be making it clear to the public, are confusing them the more.
Okay,
thank you,
Sifa. Your 5 minutes.
Money or what? It is all money. It is all taxpayers' money. So if we have to play with it around, we should play with it. No, not selectively.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Badije, you just had, let me not pause a question.
Yes.
Just follow through.
Thank you so much. And now, first of all, I have to disclaim that I'm not a member of NUP.
Yes.
But again, I must confess my admiration for what NUP has done. Before talking about the legalities concerning the matter, let me first talk about it in a political sense. That what NUP has done has never been done before by any party. One, people are blaming it for putting this thing in the open, but that's what they call transparency. That if there is any dirt,
but is that wisdom? It is possible that you're trying to be transparent,
actually,
but lack wisdom.
Let me show you,
because it's possible that in your transparency you simply kill the party.
Actually, let me show you how wise it is. That the Munamasaka down there will know that Mpuga has taken money in a manner is not supposed to what?
To take it.
Now that is a plus for NUP. Because actually if you listen to the argument of Honorable Chagulanyi, he says that for us we don't want to be like Museveni, who covers up for his ministers after stealing iron sheets. Now that is wisdom in politics. Remember, politics is a game. Now Chagulanyi is a very wise leader. When you listen to the comments of General Sejusa on his X handle, in substance he was saying that governments do not award opposition people in opposition, they imprison them. Now we all know how government in Uganda operates. Let me take this point now to the law. There is nothing in the law like an award. Let's not look at the 500 million, even if it's 1 million shillings. An award that was extended to Honorable Mpuga is illegal. Actually, it's actually contrary to the leadership code. When you look at the manner in which it was taken, it was brought in form of an award. But what is the legal basis of it? Is it institutionalized? As Mr. Mpaka was saying, that if you are to look at the former MPs, there is a law that provides for their remuneration and all those benefits. There is a law. It's institutionalized, and that is the basis of getting but in absence.
Since I am president now, elected for the student community at BSU.
Yes.
Isn't it likely that me and my executive can sit and say, you see, for the pain that we've gone through serving this community, how about listen, how about in our minutes we resolve that each one of us gets an allowance of 10,000?
How is it in the
of whose money?
How no it's not even about
on the Law Society money.
It's okay, it's not even about the money. Is it in the best interest of the people that you're leading?
Good.
That should be the question.
Example.
Mr. Banyaji, that should be the question. Is it in the best interest of the people that I'm leading, or is it in the best interest of the electorate that I accept this money, the 500 million? That should be the question. Secondly, is it legal? That's the second question. The answer to those two questions is in the negative. It is not legal, and it's also not in the best interest of the electorate.
It's also in bad faith.
It's also in bad faith.
But shouldn't our leaders get what they deserve for service?
Exactly.
What is the problem?
No. You see, You see, leadership is about sacrifice. The problem, leadership, it's not about eating.
But now, the consequence of that decision is very likely that I've already heard the sentiments from people like Segona, Betty Namboze, those senior members of the NUP that came from DP.
Yes. And
their resolution is literally pro Mpuga. Pro Mpuga. Yes. Okay, the some Jews have heard them very clearly. And it is possible that people in Masaka that, identify with Mpuga are going to be rubbed the wrong way. What will happen within the party? You cannot underestimate Mpuga.
No, you see, every family has its
Mr. Banyaji, that is what the Swahili like Shifa call musiba wa kujitakia, digging your own grave.
Yes.
They think they are taking a wise decision. But
see, it is also said,
let's allow him.
I personally believe it is letting them down. That is why I told you they should have handled this silently, very wisely. You cannot just come out because you want to show that you're good, and you just put it out there.
But we see. Okay. No. Let me rebut his submission and the modus of operandi of hiding things and doing things in the dark. We see the consequence of that with FDC. Where did it lead to? Do you know this thing in FDC where dirty money? Yeah. They try to hide. They try to hide it, but hiding things does not help.
I did not talk about
yes, it doesn't help.
Actually, he says how about addressing internally?
That's hiding. You see, that's hiding.
What I say.
You see, Mr. Banyaji.
Let's allow us to conclude.
Actually, I've been a friend to Council Bwenje for a long time.
Yes.
You see, he taught me something. The real definition of integrity. Integrity is what you do is your real person in the dark. Now, what NUP is trying to do is trying to show us its real identity. That for us, even when you recall about the month of October 2017, Honorable Chagulanyi returned the 29 million. That was actually, it was also almost an award because it was not justifiable. But
it was supposed to be used in consultation.
No, but as a leader, he lived by example.
And they are classified expenditures that are done by any institution, especially the governing body. For any institution,
Mr. Banyaji, for how long should we ask for a supplementary budget? This money here is not actually this money is not planned for. That's something
and
they
I'm
just
come to show how it is not planned for.
After the commercial break, we shall be giving Council Bwenje to take us through. Let's come back.
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management. This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.
It's 2 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music, great friends. Good morning. My name is Wesley Gevanyaji. It's just 2 minutes past the top of the hour. And it's very heated in here. But nevertheless, the topic of discussion is the Mpuga letter to the NUP, the response, but also the letter that was written by the president of the party to literally the general public, telling us of what was happening at the headquarters of NUP. Our question on our topic of discussion is whether you think Mathias Mpuga should resign. On Facebook, Wakanda Rogers is saying he should even keep quiet and stop confusing Ugandans because he knows very well that he was in the struggle. Then how you start accepting such gifts from the opponent as if you're not paid salary and allowance. NRM government has messed up this country. In another country where corruption is condemned, this man would be in Luzira. But in Uganda, it's going on as usual. Thank you. Lemusingusi Onesimus, you're saying this is Uganda. He's not being forced to resign. That perhaps he isn't doing his work perfectly, but just happened because he accepted 500 million from government, which is not a crime at all. In fact, this man should be treated as a great man because of an award is a sign of attraction from government. Thank you. You're listening again from Mashuru Kashema. Kandwanaho Fred, I see you at Mbara Comprehensive, and you're saying I know he can't resign or take back the money. He should repent. Kandwanaho Fred, thank you for being a part of the show. Nwahedesa Festino, you're in Chizoba, and you're saying what Honorable Mpuga did wasn't acceptable, but Chagulanyi did what was expected. And I think Mpuga is also expected to join MOK. MK Felix Feli, you think that's for the show, and you're saying I hope Ugandans are seeing what is going on in the country. Mathias Mpuga will not resign if he's not sacked out of office by his bosses. Kasawende would also help us understand whether it's possible for the party to actually recall Mpuga from the commission. Turiamsi Magodan is taking us for the show, and you're listening in all the way from Roharo Vocation. And you're saying, I think no one hates money. Mpuga was right to receive the money. Keep the messages coming. I'll keep reading some of that. But now let me pick up 1-2 calls and I go to Council Bwende here. On 752-912-912 and 780-912-910. Colin, and let's get to hear from you on what you think about the letter by Mpuga responding to calls by the president of the NUP to resign. On Facebook, Ivan Palvov, you're listening in from Uganda, and you're saying, on Twitter, you're saying, I think he shouldn't resign. Let him serve his term at the end and he shouldn't get back. Not only him, but many others took the money. Arinda Alan, you're in Nyamsindo, Masha, and you're listening in to the radio. Thank you. For me, I think as a leader of opposition, he was not supposed to do that because he broke the rules of the opposition side. Wakanda, I saw you. Agoma, Rogers Nwamanya, you're saying let them fight their battles. I no longer believe in politics without humanity. Neviona Roland, you're saying it is Uganda. We are going to parliament as business. I see all this. Masho Nasasera, good morning. First and foremost, the money he received was just a commission for the good service. I think this is a very fantastic edition of the Big Seat. The calls, the messages, every person wants to contribute on this matter. But let me pick the calls and I get back to you, Council. Good morning.
Good morning, Leonard.
Yes, turn down the volume of your radio.
Good morning, once again.
Good morning.
I'm all right. I want first to understand, because I'm hearing the saga of Mathias Mpuga and the news.
Yes.
Was that 500 million legal to be given to him, or?
Council Isaac Badije has guided that this was an illegality. He was never supposed to receive this money.
Then why is he receiving that taxpayers' money? For sure, this is corruption.
Okay, thank you. That was spot on. On 752-912-912, on 780-912-910. The big set just lost that call. 752-912-912, on 780-912-910. So let's get to hear from you on what you think about this. The big set.
Banyaji.
Yes, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is Matthias Major. About that issue, NRM government is trying to buy people. And there is no way how we can shift from it. Because those people, they are struggling for their families. And they cannot leave their families starve when there is that money. After all, you cannot fight for corruption and you end it. You must try. If you get an opportunity, you use it. So you cannot blame Mpuga because he sees that even if he does what, there is no way how this Nup government will ever come exist in Uganda and lead Uganda. So let them use the opportunity. Once you get it, you grab it. This is our government. This is how we are. And there is nothing we shall change.
All right. Thank you.
I thank you.
Much appreciated. Dr. Cliff Manyiromjuni Kada, you're all the way in Uganda, and you're saying if I was Mpuga, I would instantly join Mohozi's PLU. If I was Honorable Mpuga, that would guarantee him a comeback as Masaka Mukungu MP. Whether the money, which was a must, use the money that he amassed to guns and sticks, since NUP has bragging rights about controlling and deciding who wins in Buganda region, and hopes to knock him out of the coming 2026 election. Thank you, Cliff, for being a part of the show. Councillor Wenje, straight to you. Councillor Isaac gave us a background of whether this was within the rules of procedure of Parliament or within the leadership code. What should we read of this? Our leaders are just rewarding themselves for service.
Yeah, it is of course strange, and I have to underscore the fact that sometimes you have to bite the hand which feeds you. And I want to thank the NUP president for being open and transparent, because the Political Parties and Organizations Act of 2005 doesn't require political parties to be wise. It only requires them to be accountable. So it's not an issue of being wise, no. Yes. Being accountable. Whether giving accountability is going to backfire or boomerang, but you must account to the people. Now, Honorable Mpuga was appointed on the 28th of May of 2021. As a leader of the opposition of the Republic of Uganda, which is of course a constitutional office. 11 months and 9 days into office, he's given a service award on the 6th of May 2022. Just not even a year. So what had he served? So he's given 500 M. And what is strange about it is that this is a one-off payment. One-off payment. That's number one. It's a person holder.
Meaning it's only
to him,
not to the office.
Exactly. So the subsequent lops are not entitled to it. They can negotiate their own deals.
Meaning it could be over 500 million.
And whenever the term negotiation is used, it means now that is that's actually either a handout, it's either a financial bonanza, which is just a scheme to swindle money. So when you receive that money, 500 M, and each of the four commissioners, of course, excluding Zake, because by that time I think he wasn't there. But the four commissioners from NRM took 400 M. So now that brings it to a total of 1.7.
Slightly over 2 billion, literally, yes.
1.7 billion. No, 2.2 would have been if the fourth commissioner had also received. Because if it is 500, then 400. So it is 1.7 billion of the taxpayers' money. So it is coming at a very strange time. The person is still new. And I've read all the laws regarding the remuneration of members of parliament in terms of maybe pension, the Parliamentary Pensions Act 2007, amended in 2015 and 2020, the Parliament Remuneration of Members Act, the Parliament Powers and Privileges Act. There's no basis at all. There's no basis at all of a person negotiating his own award. It's not there. I've not seen it. And of course, I detailed a statement of what Mpuga did wrong in terms of the law. Because of course, as lawyers, we have a statement that if someone is accused of murder and comes to court and says, I killed him, but he attacked me first. Now that kind of plea is it is equivocal. So it is conditional. So the person is saying I killed him, but I have a defense. So that's a plea of not guilty. So now Mpuga is saying, yes, I took that money, but I was right. So now I think the task of Noop is to show whether he was right or not.
Yes.
And under what law? Because this is not about the persona, the character of Mpuga vis-a-vis the character of his president. No, it's about the
perhaps counsel address the meaning of the letter that was authored by Mpuga, because it was very intentional. It was sending a message. It wasn't about this money. It was talking about issues to do with attacking his person.
No, that's diversion.
Character assassination, bringing in aspects of family.
That's diversion.
You know, a family. Definitely, we know the Chagulanyi family, Nyanzi, whatever, is holding the party captive and is trying to.
I don't think so.
I don't think parliamentary politics.
No. I don't even think that is true, because even we are informed that there is a misunderstanding between Bobby and his brother. So it is not that they are in the same bed. No, and I want to encourage Bobby not to run Noop as a family affair. All right.
Okay.
All right. No. That is, I think, that's a constitutional principle. Because Noop is a political organization. And so I want to state that in that letter, Mpuga is saying, even other members of parliament before me have received that money. I also received it, but there's nothing wrong.
Okay. Thank you, Council. Yes.
So the burden of Noop is to show that he was not right to receive that money in law.
Okay, Council Barije.
Thank you so much, Council Bwenje. Just to give my side of the law concerning that matter.
Yes.
When you read section 11 of the Leadership Code Act, it provides for prohibited conduct, and it makes it illegal for one to accept a gift that is likely to influence the way he or she operates. So in substance, that's what section 11 provides. So when you look at how the money was given, it is a gift. It's an award. And if such award comes from government, okay, parliament, what is the basis of that money? Is it likely to compromise you as a leader of opposition? The answer is in the affirmative, and we can see it in the conduct and how Noop responded. It is saying that for us, we don't expect you to receive any money. As a leader of opposition, you're supposed to represent our interests as opposition in parliament. So if you're given money that you're not accounting, that you've even not accounted for, that you didn't even disclose to the party, so that's where now the leadership code comes. The leadership code of conduct comes in,
okay.
And that's a breach of section 11. Now the issue is about prosecution. Why are they prosecuting him? Sorry. Do you expect the devil to the devil has awarded you? Do you expect him to take you for salvation? No. Yes.
Absolutely not. Yes. Okay. I wanted Henry to answer. I wanted Henry. The IGG is at his headquarters, and we haven't seen her being action-packed and being zealous about this. Shouldn't the IGG be interested in this matter?
The most important question to ask Mr. Banyaji is this the first exhibition to have happened in this country? Where has the IGG been? Isn't that an important question to ask? You see, there's a gentleman called Francis Mbugua, and there is a common quotation in Betrayal in the City. He says, when the madness of a nation disturbs a solitary mind, it is not right to say man is mad. You see, a lot is going on in this country, and I have to put a disclaimer that regardless of what people say, I'm not interested in taking any seat in this country, so do not come after me. But I will tell you that there is a lot of corruption. There's a lot of
and
funds.
the NRM recognizes that indeed their biggest problem is curbing corruption. They are not in denial of the fact that they know they're struggling about this.
Of course, certainly, partly they are the implementers of this, but we do not put it on them wholly, because even individuals themselves, the citizens themselves have practiced corruption, and they believe it's the way to go. I will not give live examples, but you know, Mr. Banyaji, that if you went to the market, for example, now, let's say 24th December, and you want to buy meat first, you would have seen the butcher at night, because there would be a huge line. So corruption is practiced practically in the citizenry, and it's not doubt about that.
So are we just pretending that we are surprised and shocked and we are feeling bad about this?
Exactly.
We should just be applauding this man for doing what was expected of you, man.
We shouldn't applaud him for doing what he wasn't expected to do. But I think there is a positive side we are seeing in this. And there is a French philosopher, Voltaire, during the French Revolution. He said that if you make people believe in absurdities, you will make them commit atrocities. People have seen what is taking place in this country, and it is no shock that someone can run away with 1.5 billion and they will not apologize about it. So me personally, I believe this is not the first time, and I do not see why people are making this a huge point. I have said.
So should we resign?
I have said. The council is trying to massage illegality.
As I have said,
council is being realistic. Council is saying
wise. It's being wise and shrewd, but she's not helping our Munainchi who goes to hospital and there's no Panadol. Who doesn't send a child to school because there's no UPE? So he's not helping us.
What has council?
He's trying to.
What has the professor done to help the Mwanawinchi who goes to the hospital?
I'm condemning it here.
He's condemning it.
No. He's lukewarm. He's sitting on the fence.
You're being cold. You're being
playing hot and cold.
Yes, you're playing hot and hot. Yes. Yes, Peter.
I can't accept Mr. Council Henry to come here and start massaging a cancer. You know, he's just being too romantic with the cancer that is killing this country. Now, Westj, let us now move to a little bit deeper and look at the current speaker that we have and how she's administrating. If there's a person who should resign and resign with immediate effect and in public interest, it is that Mrs. Magugu, because news came out also last week that she had been awarded 600 million to go on vacation with Mr. Magugu. And Ugandans, what's wrong with our country and where are we going? And we just say that is trivial, that is something we should just leave to go anyhow. And yet our children in UPE are being paid 1,000 shillings. 1,000 shillings. Yes, 10,000 per year.
Honorable Goretti Chitutu, who literally he accepted before a committee of parliament that indeed she was wrong on the iron sheets. She's still serving as cabinet minister.
That's why I was calling on
so
the OBs.
How are we going to implicate just one person?
That's why I was calling on the OBs.
Then you shouldn't be castigating Matthias Mpoga because he's also innocent.
Him to take the moral stand and resign.
Exactly. Even the Honorable Goretti Kidudu, sorry.
Yes.
Kitutu.
Yes.
That's the moral stand we are taking. But also the law is telling you that actually when you read the preamble of the professional of the leadership code, it says it's the law to provide for the minimum standard of behavior and conduct for leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I think I'll still submitting also.
I'm going to come back to you. Let's allow this man.
Then after him,
Yes. Yes.
So for me, I call upon the speaker to step down. I call upon the commissioners of NRM that took the money also to resign.
And bring it back.
And if Mpuga does not want to resign honorably, I want to call upon my party president.
Let's allow Wenje.
Am I concluding or you want to?
No.
I'm making my calls.
You said they are making a wrong call.
Yes,
You cannot allow.
What I hate about the legalities of this law.
No,
is that you use legalities and elitism.
But
In some of these things, we need radicalism. We need to be
No.
radical.
But
I'm here.
Let me help you.
Of Nope.
Let me help you.
Yes.
So should we now force Mpuga out of the commission even when they have no power to do that?
What I'm saying is we appointed him a commissioner. We can disappoint him.
The president can disappoint him. The president can disappoint him out of that position. So that we hold and protect our core values as a country. We need to set a new. We don't confuse the NRM. Okay, let's allow Wenje guide. It is coming to
it is very okay.
Let's allow.
And it is in the interest of the public that the NOP should set a good president. But the president cannot be illegal. Now, the part, of course, NOP has the duty and the right to appoint a commissioner of parliament under section 2 of the Administration of Parliament Act as amended in 2005. But it doesn't have the power under section 5 to remove him. A commissioner of parliament or a member of the commission or a member of the parliamentary commission is only removed by parliament, not by the appointing party.
Okay, then we can also move that.
Yeah. So, and only on the basis of infirmity of mind, bad conduct, misbehavior, and so forth. And I think also I wanted to state that that the speaker also, I think, is accountable. She must come and explain under what circumstances she allowed that money to leave the taxpayers' pocket. Yes. So the people of NRM here, and of course in the wider community, they owe us a duty to demand accountability from their member, the speaker. Why are you perpetuating corruption here? Why? Because you see, in that meeting there are 12 of them. 3 NRM commissioners, then the LOP and the speaker, and then 7 others. Now, and of course it is on record that everyone who was there received some money. So we want accountability, unconditional accountability, because as a government where people go to bed hungry, people are even dying of hunger in the 21st century.
But there are people that are becoming wealthier every day.
Exactly, yes. But you see, you judge the status of a country not by the level of wealth, but by the level of poverty. If you have people who are extra rich, and then you have these ones who are inherently poor and they are condemned from birth, and you want to actually further condemn them and perpetuate their condemnation, like the people of Karamoja. Now, if a person from Karamoja who was on Tuesday convicted by the KCC court and forced to travel back to Karamoja and never to return, this was a conviction and sentence by the KCC court that these people should be taken to Karamoja by force and never come back. Now, such people, when they hear that the leader of opposition, of all people, he's participating in thuggery, in swindling the money of the common person. Really, that is an embarrassment.
Okay.
And I want to thank Noop for coming out, but also task them to come up with a detailed and comprehensive statement of what Mpuga did wrong in terms of the law.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Sifa.
Thank you, Banyaji. If you ask me, the whole idea of giving someone 500 million shillings for this and that, to me, is wrong. But what I hate about it is the pretense by Noop and others who support the whole idea, personalizing the issue to Mpuga. That is why I told you that these people do not like people who challenge and ask questions. They want yes, 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 which is totally wrong and disgusting. And then what I liked about what Council Bwende said is the fact that he said that Chagran should not, run this whole thing as a family. And that is what is causing all these problems, because he thinks you should choose who does what, when, why, and where. And that is why he thinks now he dictates that Mpuga should resign. But you have seen Zake, for example, who is a darling in Noop, being a representative of madness, if I may use that word, chaos and all that, and he has been backed up and patted by the shoulder by the same man Chagulani and his supporters. So that is double standards that I'm talking about. We should condemn generally whatever is wrong and wherever it is, but not this issue of selecting because Mpuga is smart. And off air, our listeners, Mr. Peter said that the whole thing is because they fear this man is so
That's
smart,
not
Mr.
true.
Mpuga. It
Please,
is true.
that is not true.
That is true. So whether I said it or not, that is the fact. Mr. Mpuga, like I said at the beginning, Council, you had your time.
Let's see for
at the
submit.
beginning of the show, I told you that the whole thing is about being smart in whatever Mpuga is doing, and that is why people think they should put him aside. But let me tell you,
But now, but you see,
Kampala,
Sifa,
yes.
the lawyers have guided in the leadership code of conduct. This is against what is within
It's not
the
about
statute.
lawyers guiding.
No,
Because we are not
I am
here
saying.
for law. We are here for politics and other things.
No, but
So if
you,
talk about
but you cannot
that,
speak in
let me
isolation
tell you
of the law.
Exactly. Let me quote a good example here.
Yes.
Mr. Peter just said that he's calling upon Chagulani to sack Mpuga. Is that
I've
legal?
been guided. I've been
But he has been guided.
I was talking.
He has been guided.
I was talking as a Kakura
And
Nkonyi.
here you talk about law, and in other points you
Speak
talk
to the
about-
microphone,
So if you are
Sifa.
talking about law, let it be law. How is it legal for someone to think that Chagulani can sack at his will?
No,
But let me-
the point of diversion,
That
Sifa,
is
here
what I said
is
exactly.
okay. Was it right for Mpuga to receive 500 million?
I don't know what language you want me to speak. I told you that if you ask me, that was totally wrong. But what I hate about it is personalizing it to Mpuga.
You've not said that at all. We haven't heard you
Are you
condemning
deaf
that.
or not? You just place back. I said, but let me conclude.
You
Let
say
me conclude here.
Yes, let's allow
you
her.
not demand for
I'm
it,
not
but if you received
anti-educationist.
it, then that's okay.
No,
Yes.
let me defend Shifa. Let me defend Shifa. Let me defend Shifa.
What
Hey.
if I-
Let me defend Shifa.
Eh.
You see, it is her constitutional right
To have a wrong.
to have a wrong opinion.
Okay.
Banyaji.
Yes.
She even has a right
It is
not to
constitutional
understand.
right
Yes.
To have ear issues.
That's
Listening
right.
issues and hearing issues. I told you at the beginning of the second half. That
Speak
what
to
I
the
hate-
microphone, Sifa.
Exactly what I said is, it is totally wrong. The whole idea of giving people I don't know what language you want me to speak. And it's unfortunate that all of you did not hear. I said it is wrong. The whole idea is wrong. But what is bad about it is personalizing it. So you should understand it whether you want to or not, because otherwise you're going to confuse not only yourselves but even the listeners. So for me, Banyaji,
Yes.
Chagulani should not think that he's going to have people who are just going to be, washing his feet every time and thinking that is when they're going to get positions.
But it's not about watching his
feet.
I think
West going to happen. So for me,
Why doesn't she
Very important.
discuss this issue on its merits?
what do you want me to discuss
On its
about?
merits,
You see,
the legality of
It's tough. It's bold. It's real politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 Cruise FM. Great music,
Great music.
great friends.
Great friends. It's a 10:30 a.m.
politics. The Big Seat on 91.2 CROOZE FM. Great music.
Great music.
Great friends.
Great friends.
On our final lap of the show, 35 minutes past 10 o'clock on Western Uganda's biggest radio station, 91.2 CROOZE FM, great music, great friends. My name is Wesley Banyaji. The Big Seat happens every particular Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11. And with me in studio is Sifa Safi, Peter Mpaka, Henry Nwamanya, Wenje Deus Didist, and Isaac Vadije. On CROOZE TV, Greenwood Shaggy, I see you. You're in Kakonikazo. You're saying, but how can a minister get an award of 500 million? It's not a minister. It's the leader of opposition.
Minister, you see, the status of a leader of opposition is equivalent to a minister of cabinet.
But the literal meaning of the leader of opposition is not.
Payment.
Okay.
Yes.
Nwajara David, you're saying every day Kyagulanyi is proving himself wrong. In fact, Kyagulanyi should resign first before Poga. You're in Kazo, Kandwanaho Abel, you're on High Street watching. Greenwood Shaggy, Fred, you're Fredo United, Mara Comprehensive College, you're saying, well, it's not clear, but you're saying, what I know, he can't resign or take back the money. Clifford, I read your message. Tuliam Sima Gordon, you say you're watching all the way from Rohalo Vocation. I think that Museveni told us that come 2026, there will be no opposition during, well, I see you. Habakkuk, Che Blob, you're saying Sifa Safi oozing with arrogancy. And Asim Aaron, you're saying thanks for the program and you're listening in from the Uganda Technical College Bushenyi. And they're saying, I think NUP is coming to its end in the rest of elections. Naebade Winston, thank you so much for watching the show. Keep the messages coming on Twitter. That's X912 CROOZE FM. I'll be reading some of your messages. Let me pick two calls before I come back to the panel on 0752 912 912 and 780 912 910. The Big Seat.
Yes, good morning, Wesley.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Dixon from Chigarama Shema.
Yes, Dixon.
First of all, let me first welcome Safi from the exile. Welcome back from exile. Safi, where you are.
Thank you.
Yeah, so talking about the topic of the discussion, Matthias Simpuga, for me, I don't see why he received that money. Or did he feel okay when receiving that money? Because for now, the money, how can you get the money for free? And how did he receive that money yet he is mistaken? I see he should resign.
Oh, okay. Thank you. On 752 912 912 and 780 912 910. The Big Seat.
Yes,
Yes, good morning.
good morning to you. How are you?
I am doing perfectly well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm ever listening to something that very quite flow. But this one is return. How can you, someone has table, you pay the food and table for you to take it, and you're hungry, you say that you don't want to eat that coming. I'm saying the man was right to take the money because the government or opposition, they have been complaining that the people they eat money in the government, so now they are complaining. Now what should we go with?
Okay, thank you. You're very much appreciated. The Big Seat.
Yes, Big Seat.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, once again.
Yes, how are you doing?
I'm good. This is Derek from Rentua.
Yes, Derek.
The good thing with that man, he never shedded any blood when he was getting that money. As they say that the money he got was in a good way.
Okay. Let me pick the last call of the show. The Big Seat.
Hello,
yes, good morning.
I'm good.
Yes.
This is Greenwood Shaggy in Kaza. But okay, I'm okay with FIFA. The way he's defending her.
But you're speaking, your radio's volume is up. What do we deal with it? Let me come back to the panel here. And yes.
In the sum or in the finality, there's no question that Mpuga received that money, and there's no question that that money had no basis in law, considering the circumstances, especially that he was only 11 months into office. He had not even served fully. His term was still running. So what if he had died the next day? If it is a one-off payment.
In fact, that would be good riddance because it would be awarding.
No,
in fact, it would be rewarding.
You are awarding him in advance. So you are awarding him for 2.5 years when he has only served 1 year. So really, to the taxpayer, there's no value for money. And of course, as Parliament, whose cardinal role is, of course, is to make laws.
Maybe my final question to all of you, as you answer it, including in there your parting shot.
Yes.
What if Mpuga doesn't resign, does not return the money? Where does it put the NUP?
And of course, as I've already stated, that the NUP has no power to sack him, but the best they can do is to demand that he resigns on a moral standard.
And if he does not?
Yes, no, then he continues there
they
as
wait
a
for
commissioner.
2026.
Yes, and they wait. But of course, he's going to be I think he's going to be a white elephant in the NUP. So he's going to be there unwanted. And I think it's not a trivial matter that we should, I think, take, as a matter of maybe confusion, or that it doesn't matter, because we are not talking about the money which is owned by the speaker. It is a taxpayer's money. It is got out of government coffers, a consolidated fund. So I think the speaker also should come to her senses and wonder, what am I doing? Of course, we're not going to forget that she may have the best or the most expensive residential house in Bukedia, even if her people are very poor. But she must realize that the standards of the country expect her to do much more.
Okay.
And Mpuga should return that money, because it is money got in a bad manner, which is not in the interest of the people of Uganda.
Thank you. Say for self.
Thank you, Panyaji. And as I conclude, I want to emphasize the fact that I'm not an ENT specialist to work on people's ears to be able to hear. I want to repeat and say that it is generally wrong for people to play around with people's taxpayers' money, but it's again wrong for people to personalize issues, especially at a national level. There's issue of this man receiving this money, like most callers have said, and those who sent in messages. He has not committed any crime. And these people who are singing of law, legality, as if law is the order of the day in this country, should first emphasize the issue. Exactly, some
but Sifa, we are not living in a vacuum. There are laws
that are bad, that has left the ground to an anthill, does not know that he's still on the ground. That is why some people who have studied law do not think that they are still human beings.
No, she must go and read the constitution of NRM. Rule of law is one of the pillars of NRM.
But what is the point now? NRM, you join it.
No.
My point here
is
yes, Sifa.
They say that when you go to a place where the chief sits on the floor, you don't expect to get a seat. So people who think that whatever Chagulani does is right, and they want to back it by saying that it's legal, or what should stand up. We should, like I said, condemn whatever is bad and condone whatever is good. So in this case, taxpayers are crying. The only issue they are crying about is our money, but they're not saying you shouldn't have given the money to Mpuga. I want to assume that if this money had been given to the government whip, what would be the point of what would be? We should, a person like me was still going to say that it is taxpayers' money, but was not going to say that because you have specifically given the money to this so and so and so. So for me, in this country, double standards is the problem. But as I conclude on this issue, Banyaji, Ugandans should know that whatever is wrong for all of us. Whatever is right is right for all of us, regardless of the political parties and whatever. Because we are here, Mpuga is not going to give me a single coin. And I want to remind people that Impuga was LOP in parliament, and at the same time now he's commissioner. I'm not supporting NUP at all, and I will never. But I'm saying that Impuga is a human being and deserves to be respected like any other person and has his rights and freedoms. If he has been given money, let him enjoy the money.
Okay,
and
thank you.
By sampling Banyaji.
So now this statement takes away what she said.
Okay, thank you, Sifa.
But why do you reason such a thing? So Banyaji, conclude. I want to comment on this person who said that arrogance and whatever. This is just a myopic and paranoid person who had just learned a new word of arrogance and wanted to make a statement. When you were in class, they will tell you that use this word in a statement. So that's what he wanted to do.
Okay,
otherwise,
thank you, Sifa.
I want to thank all the callers, Banyaji, and my fellow panelists in these studios. And I want to remind people that politics is not the end of everything in this country. Now people are focusing on Mpuga's money 500 and you forget to go to the market to sell your tomatoes and whatever. So those people are eating up there, but us ordinary Ugandans should focus on hard working. We have school fees, we have whatever we are talking about, and we did not have time to talk about the Rogoa whatever, but it is something that is really so terrible and disgusting.
Thank you, Sifa. Council Badije, in the letter, Matthias Mpuga, quote, every decision of the commission to confer or reward anyone under its charge is subjected to the relevant committees of parliament for legality, feasibility, sustainability, and relevance. To call any such payments corruption is the highest level of spite, double standards, and deliberate misrepresentation to the public and the membership of the party. So it was simply purely malicious. Those are the words of Mpuga. Your response?
Thank you so much, Mr. Banyaji. What would you expect Honorable Mpuga to say in his defense? That's what he would say. Actually, in substance, what he was saying is that this wasn't his decision to receive the money. It was a collective decision. And you know, when there is collective responsibility, you cannot now point out to individuals. It's collective. But it is his duty not to accept that money. And that is the argument of NUP, and that's the argument of most Ugandans who are condemning him, including myself, that his duty as a leader, he ought not to have accepted that money. Actually, you should not even have encouraged such discussions to be in the committee. Yes.
All right, including in there your parting shot. What's the way now? It's a detour for NUP. Is it likely that Mpuga will remain the white elephant, but the party will move on, or it will create a disintegration? Because you should remember, this is a deputy president of the party.
Yes. As Council Bwenji had earlier submitted, that the NUP has no right to recall him either as an MP or as a commissioner in parliament. So the best they can do is to actually, even NUP knows it was even wise. It was just calling for his resignation. Uganda, if I'm to put it in Uganda, weyambe ole kulire. Chiraba, that it's your moral duty now to step down, to remain honorable. That's actually an honorable act to resign. Yes.
But it's not the culture that has been inculcated in Uganda.
And actually, that's in Uganda we don't have that culture.
We don't have it.
And it is, I'm calling upon all Ugandans, including ourselves here, whether you're in NRM, NUP, FDC, it is time we love our country. When we see something bad, as Shifa says, that something bad is bad. What is good is good. So let's not be blind. Let us not be blind to the fact that there is something wrong, and that thing has to be condemned.
Okay.
Yes.
Peter Mpaka.
Yes. Yeah, for me, I want to call upon Parliament, because I've been educated that the party cannot call him out, to initiate proceedings for removing him from the commission. I want to encourage our MPs who are there. Maybe one can move a motion. Even if we are defeated by the numbers, but at least as NUP we must stand out strong to remove him. We cannot breastfeed and babysit corruption of such a manner. Number two, that the NUP, and I want to state this, let the listener hear it, that we are not asking him to resign as a vice president. We are asking him to resign as a commissioner of party. So the party is not cracking down. Like we want to put it, the public wants to hear that. But also that Mpuga is part of us. He's one of our own, a very good mobilizer. But also that it is very important that we build ourselves as a family or as a team or as an organization around the core values that we uphold. Lastly, I want to call upon Parliament of Uganda that itwabanya Uganda bakunuya ba bulijo tubareba mbira bashuma. You have trivialized the parliament. To us, it's no longer a house of honorables. It is a house of deals. It is a house where you sit tugabane tutya tuliye tutya kati byafuse byakulya and yet as the bantu ba bulijo we are struggling to live in our own country. So I think Parliament should redeem themselves. The Speaker's office, they should redeem themselves. The office of the Deputy Speaker, the office of the Parliamentary Commission, and all other committees. Because, for example, when you hear what happens in those committees, they will start investigating a certain government agency, then you hear money has exchanged hands and the reports have disappeared, and that's the end of the story. So please, Parliament and parliamentarians who could be listening, it's time that we love our country, just like Council Balije has said, and we start to see that we redeem ourselves. But I want to also congratulate my president, Bobby Wine, and the party structures for bringing this out, for taking that bold step to bring it out and uphold the things that we believe in and the things that we are promising Ugandans. Okay, thank you. Henry Nwamanya. Yes.
Well, first of all, Mr. Banyaji, I do not think Mr. Mpuga will resign. And if he does, one of the basic principles of fundamental economics is that scarcity creates opportunities. Mpuga in this battle emerges as a winner, and I believe most important, prominent parties are targeting him in this country. More importantly, NRM. Let him join. And if he joins, that's upon him. The second point, Mr. Banyaji, NRM should not look at this as a shield. Sorry, NUP should not look at this as a shield against the turmoil that is taking place in its party. I believe they should sit down like Council Bwenje and Shifa and other panelists said and remove the issue of family integration in this political structure that just started recent. There was a belief back then in a certain rebellion, the Majimaji rebellion, by a certain individual called Chinjestili Ngwale, that if you mixed certain funny herbs in water and you throw them all over your body, bullets would not reach you. However, it was proved to the contrary that it was a fallacy. I believe NUP still has time to sit down and restructure themselves and see this is where we went wrong. And even if we push Mpuga out, there is still a lot of turmoil going on in this party, and we should do better. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henry. That was spot on. Yes, we just have 1 second. Who badly wants to talk about Penetti? I think our time is fast spent. Let me give you that 1 minute.
Because that Italian person is not only a sham, but I think has caused the citizen of Uganda more loss than can be imagined. And the president is actually behind her. Actually, she's a creation of the president of the Republic of Uganda. And for 4 years, we have not seen anything springing up.
Okay.
The government of the Republic of Uganda has spent billions on that project. And if Parliament itself cannot be allowed to oversee or to check what is going there, because when they went there, they were stopped. So now, how can they exercise their oversight powers over the executive when they cannot even see what is happening? So I think also it is time that we amended our laws to empower Parliament as a co-equal arm of government to have the ability to implement its own resolutions, because as a taxpayer, our eyes and ears are the parliament.
Okay, thank you, Council Bwenje. Thank you, Council.
But does Pineti exist?
Yes, she exists. Thank you, Council Isaac Barije. Thank you, Henry Nwamanya. And thank you so much, Peter Mpaka. Thank you, Sifa Safi. My punchline this week is, honestly speaking, what Mpuga did receiving this money was very unfortunate. I am calling on Honorable Mpuga to resign from the Commission of Parliament. My name is Wesley Givanyaji. Let's meet next Saturday. I want to appreciate every person that has been a part of the discussion, the callers, the messages, those that have been viewing by television. Thank you so much. Let's meet up next week. We have news at the top of the hour. I don't know how Arsenal is performing, but we were beaten in the Champions League. I don't know how it goes, but let's meet. It's always here. God blessings. Goodbye.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of this radio station or its management. This radio is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission, UCC.